Trent Cotney and John Kenney are dedicated to helping the construction industry with legal business and safety challenges. Welcome to this week's episode of Law and Mortar.
Hey, this is Trent Cotney. I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of Law and Mortar. As always, I've got John Kenney with me. John, how are you doing?
Fantastic. It's always great to be back.
Yeah, I know. We've both been on the road quite a bit, but we got a lot to talk about. You know, you and I, we always love talking in advance of these, and we're talking a lot about data centers. You know, it is the boom in construction right now. I mean, everybody is out doing it, regardless of whether you're roofing, HVAC, electrical, whatever. Huge projects, but I've got a lot of concerns legally. You know, you and I are both futurists. We like to kind of see what is out there past, what's in front of our face. And I've got a lot of concerns that these data centers just aren't going to be as necessary into the future. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of contractors that are midstream in a year or two, and you're going to have projects that are terminated for convenience, or you're going to have other issues out there. They just seem the design itself seems inefficient, right? And you can see where technology is going to surpass where we are now, and you're just not going to need that big a footprint. But there are a lot of contractors that are out there making money, so I'm curious to kind of hear what you think.
Yeah, I think looking at it from different aspects, looking at it from just the overall construction, they've increased. They're 28% ahead of what they thought they were going to be in data center spending. But you also have to look at it if you pull data center spending and construction out of the picture, construction's flat. So I always hate to see one boom area. That's why I say that is because that means nothing else is moving along with it. Now, from an individual standpoint, I think for the electricians and the HVAC and all them, I think it's a huge boom for those particular trades. I don't think they can get people fast enough to keep up with it for the next few years. And I do agree with your opinion on that. Technology changes so fast. I think from a roofer, this is just my old roofer inside of me speaking. I think these are way more liability than they're worth doing.
Yeah.
There's not that much roofing involved. They're a big area, but it's like anything else, it's a big area. But the liability that you got throughout your 2 year and throughout that entire warranty of going through on these centers, I think is huge. I really do. So I don't think the profit return on investment, the ROI is that great for the roofing part of it.
Yep, a lot of immediate reward, but a lot of long-term risk. You know, I'll tell you this, the same people that are bidding and working on the data centers now, they better get ready in 29 and 30 to do retrofits of those warehouses because they're going to be converted into mixed use or residential or something else when they're not going to be needed anymore, or Amazon warehouse space, whatever it might be. So
Yep.
very interesting. It's a huge boom. A lot of people are cashing in on it, but like we were talking about, I think it's going to dry up as quickly as it came. So something else that's been on my mind. You and I have always dealt with this issue, and that's premium renewals. You know, insurance renewals, and typically contractors, regardless of trade. You know, you got your commercial general liability, you got your workers' comp, you got your commercial auto, but you might have other stuff, right? You might have EPLI, which is for employment purposes, or umbrella or whatever, and it's a big line item. You know, I would say, better than I do, but I would say next to payroll, insurance is probably the biggest line item you got. So managing that, I think, is critically important. When you're talking to contractors, whether you're on the road or here at home, what do you advise them on as far as navigating insurance renewals and premiums?
Well, I think it's the best thing is to almost get ahead of it before your renewal even comes. And what I mean by that is I think you are correct on that. It's one of the single line item expenses on any P&L sheet that I look at. And of course, it continues to grow by percentage each and every year. It's definitely not a receding item. But one of the things that I like to get into when I was in the business side of it on the contracting is look at it from a risk management standpoint. And if you make partners with the right agent and the right insurance carrier that recognizes that if you have a good risk management program within your company, there's some huge discounts to be had. There really is. You can pick up some money. It almost pays for well, actually, it will pay for your safety program and your other programs it requires to manage this risk because of premium discounts. The reason why I say you got to pick the correct uh, insurance partners on this is because not all insurance companies and insurance agents even recognize or get into this. It's just about selling policies. But there's quite a few of them out there, especially in the roofing and construction industry, that understand risk management. They don't want to pay out the claims. Let's face it. I don't want to, if I'm running a business, I don't want the claims. So the more I can save in claims, the better I'm going to get. Not just your EMRs and the usuals that we're used to talking about, but having a really understandable, managed, in place process risk management program in your company will definitely pay off big time on insurance premiums.
Yeah, that's critical, and all it takes is a few missteps, and your premium either goes through the roof or you can't get insurance altogether. So, more to follow on that, John. I may have a question about that here at the end, but before we get there,
All right.
we've got something big coming up next week. Second biggest show in the States, FRSA's Expo. You and I are both really busy. I know I'm speaking a handful of times. Got a booth, got other things that are going on. Be at the business lunch. What all do you have going on, and what should people expect when they go?
Well, I got two speaking sessions, one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. They're both in the morning. One's earlier than the other on Thursday. Thursday's the 7 a.m. class. For all you who like to get up early, I look forward to seeing you there. We changed it a little bit this year. FRSA asked me, we've done a little bit of I've done estimating for larger commercial. I've done estimating for residential. So we've kind of combined it. So the two that I'm doing this year is estimating for small businesses. So I
Nice.
really, it's something a little bit different. I think if you've attended any in the past, you're going to get a lot out of this because I'm going to get a little deeper into certain items than I have before. And if you haven't attended it, I still believe you'll get a lot out of it. So we're going to look at it a little bit different lens than we have in the past.
That's going to be good. And just for those that don't know, it is June 10th through June 12th. It's at the Gaylord Palms out near Orlando. It's the 104th Convention and Expo. That's crazy. 104th.
Yeah, I remember we were at the 100th not that long ago over in Dade
Yeah, I
Center.
know. It's nuts. I was thinking this will be my 23rd, and it'll be my son's 15th expo that he's been to, and he's only seven.
Wow, that's
Well,
great.
I guess technically it's a year less than that, but he's almost 17. So,
Yep, this will
um,
be my 27th coming up.
yeah, yeah, and it's amazing. It feels like I was just there, right? So,
I know.
it's a good time. Get to see the folks in Florida and packed. That first day of the expo is always packed. So, encourage everybody to come stop by the welcome reception on June 10th. We're sponsoring that, so get some free food on us. But yeah, really good time. Looking forward to it. And John, I'll be seeing you there as well. So that's
Yeah,
good. Anytime
absolutely. Look
to see you
forward
in
to it.
person.
I'll be out on the floor on Thursday too, hitting, seeing all my vendor friends and everybody. So if you see me out there, stop in and say hello.
Good deal. Well, talked about a lot, John. Now it's time for the question of the day. The question of the day
My
is from
favorite.
Tony. And keeping on theme, Tony wants to know what should he look for in insurance policies? How does he know if he has a good insurance agent? I'll talk about it high level. I'll take the second question first. Uh, there are a handful of decent insurance agents out there, regardless of where you're at. But you want to find one that not only has construction knowledge, but knowledge specific to your trade. So if you're doing roofing, you got to have somebody that actually understands the industry. It makes a big difference because then you're talking to someone that's knowledgeable, understands the exclusions, the coverages, things like that. On the policy side, you want to take a look and make sure you understand what your policy includes and what it does not include. There's nothing worse, John, you can attest to this, to getting to the point where you got a claim to just realize that you don't have that coverage, right? You got a pollution exclusion or a open roof exclusion or one of these exclusions that prevent you from getting coverage or defense. But that's kind of what I see from the legal side, John. What are you seeing on the business side?
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand with what you just said because if you have a really good partner in an agent, the first thing they're not going to bring you is comparing policies strictly by price because that's the most dangerous thing you can do. You want to compare them by coverage. And the only way you can compare by coverage is if the agent understands your business. And
Right.
why do I mean that? Because I can have a policy for X, the next one's X times two, and I'm like, well, I got to go with X. And what's in that? Because if you're missing everything you need, one claim and now you're X times four. So again, understand your deductibles and everything. I like my agents when I was working as a contractor to understand my business that want to make the first thing. Well, I can't really get you quote until I come in and see how your business operates. That's what you want. You want a partner that understands what you do so they can go out to the marketplace and sell you. There's no such thing as a set rate. Rates are always put out based upon risk reward of an insurance carrier based upon the contractor they're covering. So if they can sell your business and they understand your business, you're going to get a lot better rate. And most importantly, you have all the coverage you need. I can't stress that enough. You got to make sure you have the coverage that you need to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah, finding a good broker, you shouldn't view it as a commodity. It's a long-term relationship, right? You got to have someone that's a trusted advisor and that's going to help guide you, regardless of your size and as you continue to grow. So, John, it's been a pleasure, sir. I look forward to seeing you in
Yes,
person
sir.
next week. Yep. And for all our loyal listeners, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for making us number one construction law podcast out there. Stay tuned for more episodes of Law and Mortar. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can reach me at trent.cotney@arlaw.com or anywhere social at Trent Cotney. John, how can they reach you?
Same way an email, you can get me at jkenney@cotneyconsulting.com, or you can get me on social media at John Kenney. So look forward to connecting and keep the questions coming. We love them.
Yes, please. Thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.